You have concentration in walking and standing meditation, followed by sitting down step by step with noting, and your concentration will be continuous. Most yogis do this in a swift manner of noting sitting. When I ask, how did you note and what did you notice, they cannot answer because they weren't paying close enough attention. They weren't paying close enough attention because they were moving too quickly. You need to bring your concentration from the walking meditation to the sitting so that you don't have to build up your concentration again. Likewise, you can bring the concentration from the sitting meditation to the walking meditation. Concentration becomes much stronger when there are no disturbances in between. For example, if you pour with a cup of water, it may get the area wet with as much water as the cup can hold. But after a while, it dries up if you do not pour more water. Likewise, when you note on the walking meditation and then sit without any noting, the concentration will be dropped. Later, when you do sitting meditation, you will have to build up the good concentration again. However, if you stand up without noting, the concentration will be lost again. Thus, it is essential to maintain the momentum of your concentration. Yogis have to follow strictly and respectfully what we have covered here: walking, standing, turning, with proper amounts of 2 or 3 steps of noting in the walking. By keeping standing meditation before each session of sitting, step-by-step noting on the knees and sitting down, your concentration will be and remain connected. The yogi will come to understand that noting on sitting and walking is not different. He or she will hardly miss a note in all postures, and they will have more or less continuous noting. At this stage, the yogi's insight will progress. The duration of the retreat is not counted here. Some yogis practice for a year with no progress. Why? Their noting is on and off, while others are able to note continuously and make progress very quickly. That's why it's very important to connect your concentration between walking and sitting. In other words, the yogi needs continuous mindfulness in noting. Do not be concerned about the length of your retreat. What's more important is to have continuous mindfulness, which will allow you to make quick progress. If you do it casually, you will miss some noting in standing and walking. For example, when you're queuing for the food, if you become impatient because other yogis are moving very slowly, then you must use standing meditation and note standing, being aware of the various sensations throughout the body. If your mind becomes impatient, note the impatient, and then return to the sensations of standing and the sensations in the body. So try your best. Another factor is for yogis to act or to move like they are a sick person. When you are sitting down, use your hand as a support. Keep your hand beside you to give you balance as you sit down. Do not feel embarrassed to do so. Embarrassment occurs because we are watching others. Vipassana is about watching yourself and not others. As long as you are watching yourself carefully, there is no one around but yourself. What's more important is to find out the Dhamma in you. Do not be concerned about your surroundings. In interview questions, every aspect of your day may not be covered due to time constraints. Instead, you may focus on reporting just the rising and falling. As such, some yogis find themselves quite limited. But meditation is for you to come to know yourself and later to report your teacher. So whether the teacher is asking or not, you have to make sure you cover all details in your own practice. Some yogis are only paying attention to the rising and falling for the sake of reporting. Once they have something to say, they are happy and relaxed for that day and don't continue the practice with the same intensity that helped them to develop the insight in the first place. So, if you have success and see something in your practice, then keep up the method that has led to that success. Reporting to the teacher is the main purpose for those yogis that get too excited when they experience something. But actually, it is for you to know and report to the teacher what you have come to know. Some diligent yogis cannot even remember everything they have experienced since they have seen so many things clearly in their practice. Not to worry if it happens like this. What's important is that you know. Just report what you know and can recall. So remember, it is for you to know, and it is not for the purpose of reporting. You will reach your goal one day if you practice in this way. And apart from this, the yogi must behave like a sick person by moving slowly throughout the day. If a sick person wants to stand, he should not get up immediately, but a sick person moves slowly and supports himself like this. Yogis should behave like that. Besides, even if you are strong, you should behave like a weak person. A healthy person, for example, can move or bend his hands quickly. But a weak person may not be able to do that. Then, the yogi has to practice like a blind person, though his eyes are still good. One more important thing is that the yogi must act like a dumb person, though he is fluent in speaking. If you speak too much, you will lose the continuity in your practice. There is a Burmese proverb, 1 for Dhamma, 2 for chatting, 3 for nothing. Once you talk to each other, the topics in the conversation will be carried over to you until you and throughout the next sitting meditation. They will be attached to your thinking for a period of time. Be careful not to let this happen. Another factor is that in intensive practice, yogis should not be lenient to the mind, nor should they be too concerned for themselves or even their life. That's why I mentioned the 4 guardian meditations earlier. When you experience the intense pain in sitting meditation, you may want to give up noting and change the posture. But you must have the guts to cope with these kind of difficulties and suffering. Yogis will have to cope with difficulties like sluggishness and sleepiness at first, followed by unpleasant sensations or pain. These must be overcome by means of noting. Once he's accomplished this, yogis will reach to a level of practice and they do not want to stop practicing. There are 2 factors concerning effort or virya here. The first is nikama dhatu, not having concern for one's life in the practice of the Dhamma. This type of effort will help to overcome sluggishness and pain sensations. The second, parakama dhatu, is a strong determination to reach a goal without giving up. That is, no matter how many difficulties I encounter, I will continue until I reach my goal. A yogi should have these 2 qualities of bravery. Another factor is a balance between sitting and walking meditation. The schedule here is 1 hour of sitting and 1 hour of walking alternatively. There is a reason behind it. Sitting meditation helps build up concentration. Walking meditation helps develop your energy. Both of them make a good balance between concentration and effort in order to develop insight. Sitting alone cannot develop insight because we may become too sleepy, which is called too much concentration. Do not confuse this with true concentration, but you're dealing with a fake type of concentration which only promotes sleepiness. True concentration can never be overmeasured. With too much concentration and a lack of energy, the yogi will feel drowsy, dull, and bored. When effort is too strong, in other words, if you do too much walking meditation, your mind may be drifting here and there, even though you are trying to note on the walking. Since concentration is lacking, the noting mind becomes scattered. If you are trying to note on the object, it's just partial attention which you can really allow because of random thoughts that come into the mind. Thus, it is essential to have a balance between effort and energy. It is stated that the 5 faculties in achieving the Dhamma, sati or mindfulness, is always needed. Faith can be in excess, and when faith is in excess, one is likely to be betrayed by others. When wisdom is in excess, one tends to be cunning. When a yogi has one of these, he does not easily trust what others say or the other way around.